Hi. Welcome to List Movies. Today, I will show you a thriller, adventure, action film from 1994 titled Speed. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. A security guard is checking a basement and finds a repairman who says he's just checking the wiring, but the man tells him he shouldn't be here and asks for a work order. The repairman stabs him instead. A meeting ends in a workplace as employees head into an elevator. Someone inside the building anonymously pushes a button and the cables holding the elevator break. The elevator begins to collapse. Police arrive on the premises to help. Lieutenant Mack informs his team that 13 passengers are stuck in an elevator below floor 30. The bomber demands $3.7 million, or he'll blow the emergency brakes of the elevator. The police realize they have 23 minutes left to take action. They can only reach the internal portion of the building through access panels, and the elevator hatch has been wired to trigger the bomb. Officer Jack and Detective Harry volunteer to check it out. Since the nearest access panel is on floor 32, they rush to get there and enter the shaft to find it on top of the elevator. The people inside worriedly ask what is going on. Jack and Harry tell them they work for LAPD and handle the situation by saying that it's just a malfunction. Meanwhile, the bomber, Howard, is intently listening to their conversation. Harry asks Jack what he would do if a gunman was using a hostage for cover at an airport while heading to the plane and Jack was 100 feet away. He says he would shoot the hostage in order to stop the gunman from boarding the plane and hurting the rest of the passengers. Harry thinks Jack is crazy. Jack tries to help the passengers by devising a strategy to take them out of the equation, so there is no leverage for Howard. He suspends himself upside down with a cable and attaches a hook to the elevator. Howard hears them and blows the brakes off. The passengers in the elevator tumble down in panic. The hook Jack attached is connected to a crane, and due to a great amount of pressure, it collapses, thus making the elevator plummet before getting stuck again. Jack drills open the access panel and reaches out to the panic-stricken passengers. He proceeds to get the passengers out one by one. One woman, in particular, is terribly scared, but they manage to save her as well. Jack comes to realize that the bomber is within the building. They learn that he is hiding in the freight elevators and try to sneak up on him, but he opens fire on Jack and Harry. Howard ends up cornering them in the elevator and taunts Jack, while holding Harry hostage. They move out of the elevators and due to the desperate circumstances, Jack shoots Harry in the leg. Howard blows the place. Harry and Jack are receiving medals of valor for their bravery and service in an official ceremony. They are appreciated for saving the 13 citizens in the elevator. Howard is said to have died through his own bomb's explosion, but is actually watching the ceremony on TV, mockingly clapping. The police officers are celebrating their success. They realize they were lucky to make it through as Howard could have blown them up. Afterwards, Harry heads home. In Santa Monica, Jack is getting coffee and muffins. He is talking to a friend who is a bus driver. Later, as he is about to drive away, his bus blows up out of the blue. He runs after the bus and feels confused. A payphone nearby rings up. When Jack picks up, Howard answers on the other end. He says he spent 2 years on the elevator job, only for it to be unsuccessful. He says he has an insane level of commitment. He got Jack's attention by blowing the bus. He insists on getting his $3.7 million. He asks Jack what he would do if a bus had a bomb on it. The bomb blows if the speed goes below 50 miles per hour, and is engaged when the bus first reaches that speed. Jack says he would want to know what bus it is. Howard tells him to play by the rules and tells him the location of the bus. He also instructs him that no passengers should get off or he will detonate the bomb, and he needs the money by 11 a.m. A woman named Annie hurriedly gets on the bus running downtown from Venice. Jack is driving after the bus at full speed. Inside the bus, the people are calm and composed. Their main concern is reaching their destination timely, as they have to slow down due to the traffic. Jack chases after the bus anxiously, and eventually gets out of his car as he runs toward the bus. He tries to tell them to stop. He struggles as he tries to communicate that he's with the LAPD, but they don't stop the bus. Jack forcefully takes a stranger's car and recklessly follows the bus. Meanwhile, the bus goes over 50 miles per hour, activating the bomb. Jack yells at the driver that there's a bomb on the bus and tells him to stay above 50 miles per hour. He gets in touch with Harry and informs him that the bomber is still alive. Jack manages to get on the bus and tries to inform the people of the existing situation. A man pulls out a gun on him. Jack pulls his gun out in defense. He eventually puts it away and tries to control the situation. As the man with the gun is calming down, a passenger, Ortiz, tries to get control of him. The gun's trigger is pulled and it hits the driver, wounding him badly. Jack clearly tells the passengers that there's a bomb on the bus. Annie takes control of the wheel, and the police prepare to take action as they leave in choppers. Howard is excitedly watching everything unfold on TV. Jack and Harry talk on the phone as Jack explains the bomb's setup, an insane amount of C4, 3 triggers, and a timer set on a gold wristwatch. As they try to stay above 50, they crash through a lot of stuff. Annie tries her best to keep the bus moving. Howard is intently listening to the news channels and watching American football simultaneously, enjoying to the fullest. Harry and his colleagues discuss the bomber and realize he knows a lot about bombs, using a different design each time, instead of sticking to a particular type. He also tends to know every police countermeasure. Harry takes this point as his cue and decides to look at files of cops from the last 10 years. Mac and Jack stay in contact and try to handle the situation. Annie keeps driving the bus recklessly to prevent the bomb from detonating. Mac is sitting inside a chopper and providing directions to Jack in order for them to safely reach the police units, necessary help needed. A very sharp turn comes around, but Jack and the passengers balance the bus and manage to make it past the turn. The police authorities are preparing to save the passengers on one end, while the bus is following the given route. Jack appreciates Annie for her help with driving the bus in these tough circumstances. She asks why the bomber is after them. Jack tells her he's actually after him. He is fascinated with playing games with the authorities. If Jack is able to save everyone today, there'll be another game tomorrow, and so it goes. Harry instructs his colleagues to go through the pension funds, as he suspects that the bomber is disabled. He may not be LAPD, but he's nearby. He thinks he's seen him before. Mac and the authorities arrive and try to get passengers out somehow. Jack tells them they can't take the passengers out of the bus, because he will see them and trigger the bomb. Mac tells him there's a possibility he might be a cop. Howard calls for Jack. He negotiates with Howard and succeeds in getting the wounded driver off of the bus. A woman on the bus named Helen gets desperate and tries to jump off in order to make it to the authorities safely, but Howard blows up the front of the bus. The woman falls out and seemingly goes under the bus. The passengers are anxious and start arguing with each other. The situation is tense. Jack checks up on Annie and consoles her, as she is devastated. She is glad to be alive but simultaneously feeling guilty. Jack tells her not to feel guilty because if Helen had gotten off, Howard would have killed them all. Mac informs Jack that unfortunately there is a 50-foot gap in the road as the freeway is unfinished. Jack decides that they should keep driving above 50 miles, as it is an interchange, so it might have an incline. He instructs everyone on the bus that when they hit the gap, they should keep their heads down. When they reach the incomplete section of the interchange, they go flying over it and miraculously land on the other side. Everyone is happy and they congratulate each other. Jack makes Annie head for the exit which leads to Los Angeles International Airport's air cargo terminals. They head for the airport because the choppers can't follow them there and so Howard can't stay updated. Howard and Jack are on the phone as he demands his money and insists that he earned it. He tells Jack that he got a medal too, along with a pink slip, and an apology for his hand getting damaged. Jack convinces Howard to let him get off the bus alone, so he can talk to the authorities face to face about Howard's demands. He allows it, telling Jack to come back quickly and not to double-cross him. Jack tells Annie to keep circling the airport runway, While he's out, he gets in contact with Mac, who suggests taking the passengers out, but Jack is concerned that he will blow up the bus, knowing that he's been a step ahead of them every time. He decides that he needs to dismantle the bomb. The people in the bus wonder what's happening. Mac tells Jack that they won't be able to hold steady for long. He says he just needs a few minutes. Harry is in touch with him through the phone. A cable is attached to Jack as he slides under the bus while lying on a mechanic's creeper. He works on dismantling the bomb with Harry's help and instructions. They realize they can't bypass it as it is a collapsible circuit. The authorities discover the identity of the bomber, a man named Howard Payne, who worked for Atlanta PD's bomb squad and retired in 1989, due to a small charge which left him with 9 fingers. Harry and his colleagues decide to go after him. Jack gets stuck under the bus and swerves constantly. Ortiz volunteers to help him. The cable breaks. Jack tries to hold on, and while doing so, he punctures the fuel tank. Annie panics as she thinks she drove over him. He's barely holding on when Ortiz opens the bus floor and gets him out. Jack tells Mac to get help in order to deal with the fuel tank issue. Harry and his team invade Howard's house. He tricks them by planting a bomb inside the house. When it detects them, it goes off. Harry is killed in the process. Jack gets a call. He thinks it's Harry, but Howard answers instead. He informs Jack that Harry died. He tauntingly guesses that the watch he attached to the bomb, which was a retirement gift, led Harry to him. He threatens him once again by saying that if he doesn't get his money, they will all die. While talking, he refers to Annie as a wildcat. He mentions a location for dropping the cash. Jack notices Annie's University of Arizona shirt. He realizes that by wildcat, he's referring to Annie. This means he can see the inside of the bus. He has video footage but no sound. Jack tells everyone to look normal and just stare ahead. They record a tape of the bus seemingly monotone environment. Mac makes the press go off air and play the tape of the bus on loop. Howard is temporarily deceived. Meanwhile, the authorities manage to safely get everyone off the bus. Jack and Annie are the only ones left. They lock the gas pedal and eventually get out as well, by using the bus floor's opening panel as a support underneath them. The bus crashes into a freight plane and blows. Tremendous and intense explosions take place as the passengers watch from afar. Jack and Annie are safe and happy. Mac checks up on them. They receive medical attention. Howard calls again asking for money. They realize he doesn't know that the bomb blew up. Mac says they'll bring the money in 30 minutes. The authorities arrive at Howard's location and cover the area completely. Jack and Annie are riding in an ambulance. Jack gets out and says he'll be back. The authorities plant a paint bomb with the money. Sanitation workers drop the bags in the trash can. Howard notices the authorities hidden at different locations with their weapons aimed at the collection point of the money. He tries to trigger the bomb on the bus, but realizes that he has been fooled by the loop tape playing on TV. He pretends to be a cop and takes Annie away. Meanwhile, the authorities wonder where he is, since the money hasn't been collected. Jack knows he's never late. It is revealed that he got the money and is on the move, as Jack locates a hole under the trash can through which he escaped. Jack finds Annie in an underground subway area, with bombs all over her. Howard shows up and makes her fill a bag with the money. Jack tells him to take the money and leave Annie alone. Howard coldly talks about how bombs are made to explode. He eventually leaves with her. He continues to terrorize people by shooting with his weapon, and gets with her on the subway. Jack manages to get on the train just in time. Howard kills the driver. He tortures Annie with his callous speech, telling her it'll hurt less if the bomb explodes. He finds the paint bomb inside his bag of money and gets frustrated. Jack and Howard have a one-on-one fight on the roof of the train. His head gets smashed against a railway signal and he falls off. Mac informs Jack that the track ahead isn't finished. They are unable to stop the train and have to jump off. The situation gets tough as Annie is handcuffed to a pole. They try to break her free, but it doesn't work. Jack decides to accelerate the train and take it as it comes. They sit and hold each other. The train hits the turn and breaks into several parts. The part containing them lands outside the construction area on the road. They are happy to make it through and start kissing as people are mesmerized by how they survived. The end. Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn in the notification and leave a like to help the channel out. Thanks for watching.